In the endless swamps from Florida to Louisiana, where the dark water seems to hide something ancient, there is a creature that still quietly dominates. The American crocodile, a creature that has existed for more than 150 million years, through the Ice Age and every extinction the Earth has ever seen. Now it is becoming an increasingly serious challenge for the people of the southern United States.
Look at that. Take it down.
With more than 2.3 million individuals, Florida and Louisiana alone account for 70% of the population, creating the areas with the highest density of crocodiles in the United States. On average, 5 individuals kabikahi. They creep throughout the swamps, canals, natural lakes, and even the damp strips of land near residential areas, making any movement near the water surface terrifying.
And that's actually fuels our conservation arm. Whoop, they're frisky this morning. Alligators stole the food.
Flexing of those massive muscles.
Their strong survival ability allows them to appear in almost any water body. It is a stagnant, hot, humid environment full of reeds, where they hide, ambush, and breed with the cold patience of ancient reptiles. And when the rainy season lasts from May to August, hundreds of thousands of baby crocodiles hatch, continuing to inject life, strength, and danger into that already crowded population. The American crocodile is a typical ambush predator. They lie almost motionless. Only their eyes and nose are exposed. Wait for prey to come near, and then suddenly lunge at speeds that can exceed 50 kilometers per hour. In the first bite, fast, strong, and absolutely uncompromising.
Checking the corner and going into the corner. Yes, you got it, you got it.
When hungry, they do not choose their targets. Indiscriminate. Wild boars, hunting dogs, livestock, and sometimes even humans can all become victims just by the slightest movement within a few meters. The attack instinct of this cold reptile is triggered by just a ripple of water. But the danger does not stop at the swamp. Rapid urbanization, causing thousands of hectares of natural habitat to shrink, forcing crocodiles to seek new spaces.
Oh my god.
I don't think I want to watch.
You don't really want to watch.
Ooh, they are munching.
They're like dogs.
They enter backyards, swimming pools, parking lots, even school sports fields. All have become reluctant homes. In many Louisiana communities, it is not uncommon to see a 10 to 14-foot alligator lying in the middle of a yard or at the foot of a staircase. Some are even more daring, sneaking into farms, breaking down fences and causing unrest in the already hard-working lives of farmers. The line is thin and danger is near, and nature is knocking harder than ever.
That is the biggest freaking alligator I have ever seen in my life.
According to the 2000 and 2021 wildlife management reports, alligator sightings in backyards, destroying barns and attacking livestock, forcing the government to spend millions of dollars each year on capture and relocation. Louisiana alone spends 5–7% of its wildlife budget on management. Meanwhile, indirect damage such as lost livestock or damaged facilities can cost up to $3.5 million a year. Compensation for people has also increased steadily over the years, especially in rapidly urbanizing areas, becoming a huge burden. And all of that makes crocodiles, even though they are native species, become a worrying economic factor for the southern United States community. In that situation, Americans were forced to implement control hunting, measures to reduce the density of harmful crocodiles in dangerous areas. That is when professional hunters entered this silent war. Dawn had not yet fully risen. The space was so quiet that only the buzzing of mosquitoes could be heard. The hunter advanced slowly, each step was steady. The whole swamp seemed to be holding its breath with him. In front of him, a nearly 3-meter-long crocodile lay still as a rotten log. Only its pale yellow eyes were half open. Its breathing created small ripples on the water's surface. The ripples made the hunter sure it was awake, and it was waiting. The hunter raised his gun. The scope shook slightly with his breathing, then stabilized. There was a moment of absolute silence. At that moment, the crocodile suddenly moved. Fast and clean. A powerful kick, enough to create a column of water higher than a person's head. It rushed towards the bank, where it suspected its prey was. The hunter pulled the trigger. Bang! The sound tore through the swamp. The bullet hit right behind the eye, the fatal point. The crocodile stopped in the murky water. Its heavy body swayed and fell. The water returned to calm in just a few seconds, but the silence that followed carried a heavy feeling. Where man and nature meet in an unexpected moment.
Good shot. Just wait.
Good shot. Just wait.
The climax must be the crocodile fishing scenes. The method requires more calmness and strength than any other hunt.
I just was so on his foot right there. Yeah, they got this right.
Yeah, they're doing good.
Jackson, the archer who has spent half his life on the swamp,
Pretty much.
standing still on the bow of the boat,
No, anywhere but the head.
holding tightly the special rod used to catch monsters weighing hundreds of kilograms.
We
front here. Never mind, you got it. There he is.
When the crocodile, more than 3.5 meters long, emerged from the water to catch the bait hanging on the steel hook, Jackson jerked the rod hard. The steel hook, as big as a finger, pierced the crocodile's jaw. It thrashed violently, creating white waves, causing the boat to rock violently.
That one's good shit. That one's tough. There we go. Gator on.
But the rope tied to the arrow held it back. The struggle dragged on for seconds, almost suffocating. The fishing rod bent so far it seemed it would break. Finally, as the crocodile weakened, Jackson gave it one last hard squeeze, pulling it close to the side of the boat before ending the dangerous struggle.
Come on, guys. Struggling.
Monster. Okay, roll it. Hey, big boy.
Another time, Jackson was only about 10 yards from the crocodile. When the animal lifted its head slightly to look, slap. Jackson jerked the rod, the sharp steel hook sinking deep into the beast's jaw. The crocodile exploded in its final throes, before sinking into the dark water, leaving an eerie silence.
Before the season closed.
I'm gonna try to show y'all with this first one. There's a line, see that line where his skull ends? You're gonna put the barrel right there, right behind his eye. That's his ear.
On the ear.
Yeah, and just pull the trigger.
You can go through.
These hunts are not meant to wipe out crocodiles. They exist to keep the swamp from falling into chaos, to protect humans and maintain the balance of the fragile ecosystem.
Right here, right here. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Oh. We get the poon. We get the poon in them.
Yeah. Leg stick.
Where's he at? Where's he at?
Hit him. Bring his jaw to the boat. I'll show it.
There you go.
Little skinny thing.
That's a lizard, boys. Long.
Kind of long.
I'm on 9-8. What's our verdict?
Crocodiles are still the soul of this water, but when their numbers exceed a safe threshold, they become a real threat, enough to disrupt the lives of the entire lakeside community.
One more, one more, one more, one more.
Well, that puts an end to my tarpon fishing.
You keep. Looks like it. Hang on.
And the battle continues every day. On the still water, a pair of golden eyes watches from the reeds.
Okay, okay.
Amidst the sprawling fields of the Midwest and south of the United States, where the wind blows through rows of corn, there is a small but cunning predator that is keeping farmers up at night. The red fox is small, fast, and extremely cunning. With its strong reproductive capacity and superior intelligence, they have become one of the most difficult species to control in the United States. Currently, the United States has an estimated 600,000–700,000 red foxes. Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and the Midwest states are the areas with the highest density. Texas alone has 500,000–550,000 individuals, from grasslands, farms to small patches of forest in the middle of vast farms. But when food is scarce, they are ready to sneak deep into residential areas, where even a neglected chicken coop can turn into a disaster overnight. Small indeed, but the red fox is a silent haunt of agricultural America. They are most active at dusk and at night. They quietly creep through fences and fields like a breathing shadow. They move extremely quietly, no sound. This allows the red fox to approach chickens, ducks, turkeys, even lambs without making any warning signals. Among the alien species that threaten the Australian ecosystem, the red fox is the name that makes the whole country alert. Cunning, adaptable, and resilient, the red fox has become a living testament to the power of nature when it loses its inherent balance. They move in silence, hunting with the precision of instincts honed over thousands of years of evolution. Not noisy, not aggressive, but the consequences they leave behind are extremely far-reaching. With the ability to reproduce explosively, in just a few years, the number of red foxes increased by millions, flooding grasslands, farms, and even the once peaceful forests. No small creature can escape their clutches, from poultry to small birds and even rare marsupials. Farmers lost their crops and hunters had to carry guns and infrared lights, patrolling the dusty fields every night.
Got him! Heck of a shot.
Gunshots echoed in the darkness, lights swept across the glowing eyes of the war between humans and foxes that was going on every night, without mercy. Now, Australia is facing a harsh reality. Native nature is being devoured by alien species every day. The origin of the disaster called Red Fox began with the passion for hunting of humans.
Tally-ho! Hooray! Let's ride! Let's ride!
At the end of the 19th century, when British settlers arrived in Australia, they brought the red fox with them for the simple purpose of serving sport hunting. But no one expected that the pastime of the aristocracy would open a dark chapter in the ecological history of the entire continent. In the new environment, the red fox had almost no natural enemies. The temperate climate, abundant food sources, and the amazing reproductive ability of a female that could give birth to 2 litters per year, each litter of up to 10 pups helped them multiply rapidly beyond control. Within a few decades, millions had spread across the southern and central states, from Victoria to New South Wales, destroying crops and decimating native animals that had never feared this predator. They had no need for strength. They won with adaptation and intelligence. At night, packs of red foxes crept through grasslands, forest edges, and even suburban villages, leaving behind only feathers, blood, and the screeching of chickens. No other exotic predator has caused as much damage to Australia as the red fox. Once introduced for entertainment, they have now become the continent's #1 ecological threat. According to Australian government estimates, there are more than 7.2 million red foxes living across the country, with a range stretching from southern states like Victoria and New South Wales to the arid central west. Each year, red fox packs kill about 300 million native animals, including birds, chickens, hares, small marsupials, and even rare species like bilbies and bettongs. A series of native animals that have never faced this type of predator are on the brink of extinction. Statistics from the Department of Environment and Energy show that at least 20 native species have completely disappeared, mainly due to the spread of red foxes. Not only do they kill wildlife, red foxes also cause economic damage of more than $200 million USD a year, including slaughtered poultry, lost livestock, and population control costs. They sneak into farms, dig up chicken coops, and slaughter entire flocks in one night just to satisfy their hunting instincts. What do you think when a species brought for entertainment has now become Australia's biggest ecological disaster? Leave your comments below. Ecologists call the red fox the perfect predator, compact, agile, highly adaptable, and with an excellent memory. They operate alone at night, avoid traps, recognize human scent, and even change routes when they feel they are being watched. In the middle of a scorching hot afternoon, the grasslands of South Australia seem to be smoking. The sound of off-road vehicle engines tore through the silence. The red fox hunters began their pursuit in broad daylight, working with the government's ecological control force in a giant campaign of war between humans and Australia's most cunning predator. From the sky, drones circled, scanning the ground with infrared cameras, detecting fast-moving heat spots in the bushes. On the ground, smart traps with GPS were set along the trails, waiting for the right moment. A short whistle sounded, signaling that the signal had been sent. The hunting team immediately deployed their formation, rifles raised, scopes reflecting the dazzling sunlight. In front, a red fox appeared and disappeared among the grass, its eyes shining, its body moving quickly like a trail of smoke. The hunter closed in, held his breath, tightened the trigger, bang. The bullet tore through the air, dust flew everywhere. The animal disappeared into the grass, leaving behind a faint trail of footprints leading to the trap that had been set.
Moving to waypoint.
At the edge of the forest, 1,080 poison baits were scattered in a controlled manner, marked with GPS coordinates. A precise battlefield down to the centimetre. Everything happened quickly, neatly, and no mistakes were allowed. In the blazing sunlight, the hunt was no longer a game, but a battle to regain the right to survive on their own land. The battle between humans and red foxes had no winners, because the real enemy was not the animals, but the imbalance created by humans. Only by knowing how to stop and respect the limits of nature can humans coexist with all species in a harmonious ecosystem. This hunt has no winners, only valuable lessons. What do you think about how humans control invasive species? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow the most dramatic and true survival stories. A true story that sounds like it came from a legend is waiting for you to discover. Humans face the biggest lizard on the planet, Komodo dragon, on the dry, harsh islands of Indonesia. The question is no longer are they dangerous, but how to survive living next to them. Imagine you are standing on a sunburnt land, while a creature over 3 meters long, weighing nearly 90 kilograms is lurking. How will you face it? Komodo dragons, nature's apex predators, have large teeth and saliva containing toxic bacteria that can cause infection. Just one bite is enough to bring down prey, from goats, pigs to even large cattle. Farmers here know the price. Every year, Komodo dragons wreak havoc, sweeping away property and causing millions of dollars in damage. In their shadow, no animal dares to roam free. To address this issue, the Indonesian government has come up with a bold but cautious strategy of controlled hunting. This is not a hunt for pleasure, but a mission to protect the community and maintain ecological balance. On the harsh islands, each hunting license becomes a matter of survival. Issued in rare numbers by the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, only 60 to 120 per year. That number depends on environmental conditions and the presence of a monster called the Komodo dragon. Those chosen to face the Komodo dragon are not daredevils, but experienced hunters who understand the heavy responsibility on their shoulders. This was no ordinary hunt, but a battle to the death. They went in teams of 4 or 5, carrying high-powered rifles, the only weapons accurate and powerful enough to take down the beast. When the dry season from April to October comes, food sources are depleted, Komodo dragons become more aggressive than ever, approaching their prey in terrible hunger. Hunters often use goat or pork as bait because they know that Komodo dragons' sense of smell can detect blood from more than 6 miles away. But don't mistake this for an easy game. When that giant shadow appeared, the atmosphere suddenly became heavy and suffocating. With just one swift dash, it could pounce on its prey, and a single sweep of its tail was enough to send an adult flying several meters away. The hunting team was strictly divided. One ice shooter, 2 observers with eyes like kites, the rest like lifelines, ready to spring out at a moment's notice. They aimed at the monster's weak point, one accurate shot and the story was over. Just one small mistake and everything could turn into a disaster. The Komodo dragon hunt is not a show of strength, but a test of responsibility, protecting the community, maintaining ecological balance, and bearing the consequences of every decision. Thanks to tightly controlled hunting, the picture on the island has changed. Komodo dragon attacks on humans have dropped by more than 30%, and livestock that were once their favorite prey are now protected, with losses reduced by 75%. Farmers no longer live in constant fear, can raise livestock with peace of mind. The whole community breathes a sigh of relief. And the local economy, after long years of devastation, is gradually recovering strongly. More importantly, the Komodo dragon population remains stable, ensuring that this natural icon will continue to survive. What makes this hunt so special? It was not just the resounding gunshots in the middle of a deserted island, but the blend of courage, iron discipline, and respect for a formidable enemy. Hunters do not enter battle just to kill. They carry a mission: to face danger, protect the community, and preserve the fragile balance between humans and nature. Indonesia's iconic Komodo dragon reminds us that sometimes, in order to protect life, humans are forced to choose the most difficult path. Few people know that Indonesia has one of the strictest policies for protecting Komodo dragons in the world. Anyone who dares to hunt illegally in Komodo National Park faces 7 to 15 years in prison and a hefty fine of $10,000 to $50,000. A reckless decision can cost both your freedom and your future. All trade in Komodo dragons, from skins to bones to live individuals, is strictly prohibited under protection laws. Only scientists with special permits from the Ministry of Environment and Forestry are allowed to set foot here, and even they must work under strict supervision. Bears are omnivores with high food needs to store energy, especially in the months before winter when they're preparing for hibernation. Urban waste, with its abundance of leftover food, becomes an attractive food source for bears, particularly in the summer and early fall when natural food may be scarce. Once bears discover the easy and plentiful food supply from urban waste, they can develop a habit of frequenting these areas. This creates a vicious cycle, where bears continue to invade urban areas in search of food, leading to safety and sanitation issues. Common situations when bears invade urban areas often involve them rummaging through trash in search of food. This behavior not only disrupts daily life but also causes serious problems. When bears appear and scavenge through garbage, they can create a chaotic scene in the streets, making it difficult for residents and traffic. Rummaging through trash not only damages garbage bins but also leads to litter being scattered everywhere, resulting in urban environmental pollution. The debris can increase traffic accident risks and diminish the city's aesthetic appeal. Moreover, bear invasions into urban areas can lead to significant costs for cleanup and repairs, along with disruptions to community life. The situation goes beyond just rummaging through trash in search of food. It can be much more serious. These bears sometimes attack pets, causing terror among local residents. Aggressive bears targeting dogs, cats, or poultry are not uncommon. Urban areas with their poor fencing and unsupervised pets become easy targets for these invaders. Bear attacks not only result in significant financial damage for pet owners, but also create extreme anxiety within the community. In some areas, bear populations can become overly high, leading to conflicts with humans. Hunting can be an effective method for controlling bear populations. Professional hunters with extensive experience and skills play a crucial role in managing these situations. They are adept at identifying bear behavior and locations and can strategize to handle situations as safely as possible. With their expertise and deep understanding of wildlife, hunters can implement necessary interventions to minimize damage to residents and pets, while also protecting the urban environment. In the tense moment of facing an invading bear, shooting requires precision and decisiveness. When hunters or residents are prepared to use firearms, every action must be carried out with the utmost attention to ensure safety for both people and the bear. When aiming at a bear, things can happen very quickly. Although the firearms used in these situations are typically highly accurate and powerful, Shooting a bear demands absolute precision because bears are strong animals and can become aggressive if wounded. Hunters usually use large caliber ammunition like the 30-06 Springfield or 300 Win Mag when shooting bears. These types of ammunition are preferred for their strong impact and high accuracy, which help inflict serious and swift damage to the bear. The 30-06 Springfield is notable for its penetration and long-range capabilities, while the 300 Win Mag offers superior power, ideal for handling large animals like bears. Choosing the right type of ammunition, combined with precise shooting skills, is crucial to ensure effectiveness and safety. If you agree that this method is effective and useful, please hit like to show your support. Bears invading urban areas don't just stop at rummaging through outdoor trash bins or wandering in public parks. The situation can become even more dangerous when they become bold and determined enough to enter human living spaces, specifically residential homes. They can easily break through physical barriers such as doors and windows, not only to search for food, but also to find temporary shelter. Inside the house, bears may rummage through everything from refrigerators to pantry shelves, leaving no edible item untouched. Their behavior often results in pulling down and scattering household items, causing severe mess and significant property damage. Bears can inflict serious damage on belongings and furnishings, from breaking appliances and overturning furniture to destroying doors and windows to gain entry. One surprising situation is when bears invade homes not only in search of food but also using swimming pools as their bathing spots. This behavior not only results in dirty pools and damage to filtration and pumping equipment, but also poses serious health risks. When bears bathe in pools, they can introduce bacteria and pathogens from the wild into the water, increasing the risk of transmitting infectious diseases to humans. Dangerous illnesses such as parasitic worms, leptospirosis caused by the leptospira bacteria, and E. coli infections can arise from exposure to contaminated water. These diseases can lead to severe symptoms like fever, diarrhea, and abdominal pain, impacting residents' health. Such invasions not only cause physical damage, but also create anxiety and stress for residents, who must deal with the potential danger posed by a large and powerful animal in their living space.